have biennials to organize, I have books to write, and I have classes to teach. But the one that I lose sleep over is the question of restitution of looted artifacts. My name is Chika Okeke-Agulu. I teach African and African diaspora art in the Department of Art and Archaeology and African American Studies here in Princeton. Well, the question of looted art is global. Some of the best known examples of that would be the Parthenon marbles, the Nefertiti bust, and there is, of course, the so-called Benin bronzes. Benin was one of the better known kingdoms in West Africa. By the 19th century, it was the most powerful kingdom in southwestern Nigeria. And what were these treasures? Sculpted heads of kings and queens of Benin that were used as more or less archives of the kingdom. Part of the reason that some of us are invested in Benin especially is the inestimable value of the objects that were taken. The last time that a Benin head was auctioned, it was in a couple of $1 million. And so if you imagine thousands of objects that were taken from that palace in 1897, you get a sense of how much treasure was looted. You have institutions, the so-called universal museums, who powerfully argued that they have the resources where they can hold these objects for the sake of mankind. This is untenable. For someone like me, it took all of my early adulthood to find my way to London in order to see the full spectrum of Benin bronzes at the British Museum. Most Nigerians will never have the opportunity to see them simply because no country will give an ordinary Nigerian a visa to come to see works of art. They will think you're crazy. The other reason, of course, why I am vehemently opposed to this is the idea that these are universal museums. They simply are not. There's nothing universal other than that they are keeping the world's loots. In the past 10 years or so, there have been dramatic and substantial shifts in the process and in the debate around restitution. Ultimately, this is about mending the injustices of history. We've come to a moment when, distanced from the experience of empire and the violences of colonization, that it's about time to mend some of those injustices. Restitution is one way to begin. As someone who is invested in art and culture and cultural heritage, this is my turf. I'm Chika Okeke-Agulu, and I'm a forward thinker.